Hi everyone, hope you're doing well. So today we're going to learn about empirical formula and molecular formula. It's basically the opposite of percent composition. Percent composition, we took our formula and we found out what percentage of each element we had. Now we're going to take the percentage and figure out what compound it is. Empirical formula is the most simplified version. So if you have hydrogen peroxide, H2O2, so that's the molecular formula. That's what it looks like. HO would be the empirical formula because it's the most simplified. If you have C6H12O6, that's a molecular formula. If you have CH2O, because you divide your C6H12O6 by 6 and simplify it, that's your empirical formula. So we're going to learn how to do it. It's going to seem more complicated because there's more steps, but it's actually a pretty easy concept to do. Just follow along with what I'm doing. I also have two videos that I did a screencastify of the worksheet and physically typed into it as I went along. There's only two videos just because the program that I use, and pretty much all the programs, have cut down their time limits to the original time limits, in this case 5 minutes, just because most states don't have school anymore. So if there's two videos for that, if that helps you, I physically type into the box talking through what I'm doing, so it's a little more organized if it helps. But you definitely don't need to read those. And the worksheet that goes along with this, you do not need to hand in. I would recommend trying it so you can practice and see what you're doing and do it as I do it, because you can pause the video as you go. Up to you though. Okay, so my first step is I write out the symbol for each element. So I have calcium, chromium, and oxygen. Okay, next. So each percent adds up to 100% when you total them. So we could also imagine we have 100 grams to make our life easy. So that means 15.63% becomes 15.63 grams. 40.63% becomes 40.63 grams, and the same thing for 43.75. Okay, next I divide each by its molar mass. So I'm going to do all these together, step by step by step. And the reason for that is I'll point out one of the steps when we get a little later. You can't move past that step unless you've done all of this. And sometimes people get the wrong answer because they get to that step and think that they're done when they're really not done. Okay? So we're going to divide by the molar mass periodic table. So calcium is 40 grams, chromium is 52 grams, and oxygen is 16 grams. Okay? Now when we write our answer for this is going to give us our number of moles of each, because we're comparing how many moles we have of each to be able to put together what the formula looks like. We're going to round to three numbers off the decimal. There's two reasons for that. First of all, it's more accurate, and we might have one on the worksheet tomorrow where that third decimal place could actually affect what end result you're going to have. The other reason is a lot of people mess up rounding, and if you have an extra decimal point, it doesn't hurt. You don't need to write 5 of them, just 3 is fine. So 15.63 divided by 40 is going to give me 0.391. 40.63 divided by 52 is going to give me 0.781. And 43.75 divided by 16 will give me 2.734. Okay? This is the step that you have to wait for. This is why you do all of it. Because the next step is you divide by the smallest of all these numbers, which of course is 0.391. But if you blaze ahead and think that's your final answer, you're going to round that down to 0, or you could round this one to 3. You need to do them all together. So we divide them all by that 0.391. So obviously that one's 1 divided by 0.391 divided by 0.391. As I said, I would just do one step at a time for all of them. So 0.781 divided by 0.391 is going to give me 1.997. So when you get to this step, you can write that out or just round it to a whole number. So 1.997, just make 2. If I have 2.734 divided by 0.391, I'm going to get 6.99, which is 7. Okay? So my final answer is going to be CA. I'm not going to write my 1. CR2O7. That's my empirical formula. Okay? Pretty simple. If you ever get to this stage and it comes out as like 1.5, 2.5, double your answers. It means you need to double. If you come up with 0.25 or 0.75, you multiply by 4. If you're not getting those, don't worry about it. But the main one you're going to see on the worksheet is you might see a 0.5 So if you see 1.5 or 2.5, you double everything to get that number even. Just because 0.5 is far enough that rounding doesn't give you an accurate answer. Okay, so next, now I have sodium has 18.85%, chlorine has 28.69%, oxygen is 52.46%. Now I have a molar mass of 366. We're going to come back to that as our last stage. Okay? So I'm going to write out my sodium, my chlorine, and my oxygen. So 18.85% becomes grams. I change this one to grams. And sorry about the squeaky marker. Okay. You can blame cheap target markers for that. So I divide by the molar mass in the periodic table. So sodium is 23, chlorine is 35, and oxygen is 16. Some of you guys have been using the unrounded values, which is perfectly fine. You will get the same answers. Okay? So don't sweat that if that's what you're doing. Okay, so 18.85 divided by 23 is going to give me 0.82. I'm not doing 3 because that's 0.819565, so it just keeps going. Okay, 28.69 divided by 35 will give me 0.82 again. And 52.46 divided by 16 is going to give me 3.279. And here's where people make a mistake once again. They round these numbers. You have to divide by the smallest. You're not done yet. Okay, because you're going to get numbers that come out almost to even whole numbers, or they will be exactly. So it doesn't matter which of these you choose as your smallest one. So I'm going to divide by 0.82. That's going to equal 1. Divide by 0.82 will equal 1. And 3.279 divided by 0.82 will give me 3.99. So we're going to call that 4. So then my empirical formula is going to be NaClO4. This is my empirical formula. To find my molecular formula, I need to add up my molar mass. So you can look right back here if you need to. So sodium is 23, chlorine is 35, and 4 times 16, which is 64. So this all equals 122 grams. So for molecular formula, I'm going to divide my molar mass by the mass of my empirical formula. So if I do 366 divided by 122, I'm going to get 3. So what that means is I take this whole formula and multiply by 3. So I'm going to have Na3, Cl3, O12 will be my molecular formula. Okay, on the quiz I will grade, you'll get points for work obviously, but some of your points will be for your empirical formula, and some of your points will be from your molecular formula. Some I'm just going to ask empirical formula, so don't sweat that. And I'm not going to ask just molecular formula, because why not give you credit for what you have to do anyways. Okay, let's switch to the third problem. Okay, I'm sorry there's not an appetizing box of Cheez-Its in the corner like there was before. Sorry, I get hungry too. Okay, so I have carbon, hydrogen, nitrogen, and oxygen. So I have 15.58 grams, because I changed percent to grams, 3.9 grams, 18.18 grams, 63.64 grams. Okay, I'm going to divide by my molar masses. So oxygen is 16, nitrogen is 14, hydrogen is 1, so I can just finish that one right now, and carbon is 12. Okay, 15.58 divided by 12 equals 1.298. 18.18 divided by 14 equals 1.299. And 63.64 divided by 16 is equal to 3.978. And someone is thinking right now, and you know, that way you don't have to ask it in live lesson if you watch this first. The reason this is 3.9 is you do 3.9 divided by 1. Because someone right now is having a brain fart guaranteed. Okay, I look at my smallest one, it's going to be this one, although these two are functionally the same. 1.298. Divided by 1.298, divided by 1.298, divided by 1.298. Okay, so this one's going to equal 1. This one's going to be functionally 1 when we round it. 3.9 divided by 1.298 is going to give me around 3. And 3.978 divided by 1.298 is going to give me right around 3 also. So this is going to be, so my empirical formula is going to equal CH3NO3. Okay, I'm just pulling that from here. Now I need molecular formula, so I have to add this up. So carbon is 12, so I'm going to do 12 plus 1 times 3 plus 14 plus 3 times 16. Once again, those are here if you just need to reference them, you don't want to look at your table. So I'm going to get 77 grams. Okay, I'm going to take my 1155 grams divided by 77, and I will get 15. So I have to multiply this by 15 to get my molecular formula. Your quiz would never have one like this. I was just picking a big number to make a point. So carbon, so we're going to have C15. 3 times 15 is 45, H45, N15, O45. Okay? So this process is really not that bad, to be honest. You just have to follow it, follow the steps, and I really recommend doing it all. So do your element symbol, do this, do this, do this, because when you get to this step, that's where people, if you're just going ahead, they take 1.298 and round it to 1. And they take 3.9 and round it to 4. And they take this one round it to 1, and this one round it to 4, and that's not the right answer. So work it one step at a time, and don't forget divide by your smallest answer. That's the mistake that most people make. If you have any questions, let me know. Happy Friday. Enjoy your weekend. We are not going to do a lesson Monday. If you need extra help on something, whether it's you're behind or just you want help with something, shoot me an email. We can always set up a live lesson on Monday. But otherwise, take the day off, sleep, eat, have fun. Hopefully the weather's nice and you can get outside for Memorial Day weekend. So everyone have a nice weekend, and I'll catch you guys again on Tuesday. Bye.